In the previous classes, we have covered module 1. In module 1, we have discussed regarding what is sanitation, need for sanitation, and then what is sewer, what are the different types of sewer, how to lay and how to do the testing of it, and then what are the different sewer apparatuses that we have studied. Then we have discussed module 3. In module 3, we have discussed various wastewater treatment units, that is including the preliminary, primary, and the secondary treatment. Now we will shift to the module 2. In module 2, we are going to have the design of sewers. Okay, the what is sewer? Sewer is nothing but it is an closed conduit which is going to carry out the wastewater line from the point of its source to the disposal site where we are going to use the sewer. In the simple terms, sewers are nothing but called as a gutters. So here we are going to design the gutters. Now the various hydraulic formula used for the calculation of velocity that we are going to study, then effects of variation on velocity that we are going to see, then what is how the design of hydraulic elements for a circular sewer which is flowing full, right, full flow and partially full flow condition that we are going to study. This is the first part of module 2, and after this we will be studying regarding the disposal of effluents by dilution, then self-purification phenomena, oxygen sac curve, then zones of purification, then sewage farming, sewage sickness, numerical problems on disposal of effluents by using the Stutter-Phelps equation. This much we are going to study in module 2. So now we are going to discuss regarding the first part of module 2, that is design of sewers. Okay, now let us discuss regarding the design of sewer. Okay, now when we have seen the water, right, the water carriage system, that is the water carrying pipelines will be having no solids in it, and here when there is an increasing gradient or a decreasing gradient, again there may be, we are going to use the pumps in case of water supply lines. But in case of wastewater, as you know that the wastewater is going to have around 99.9% of water, right, 99.9 or 99.8% of water, and remaining, that is 0.1 to 0.2%, that it will be the having the solids. Okay, now when we are going to have these solids, when the wastewater has to be carried out, right, when the wastewater has to be carried out, we should take care that these solids should not get settled down when they are going to carried by the sewer or the gutter. It should not get settled down. If it is going to get settled down, then it is going to, again, choking problem will be there in the sewers. So we should take care that there should be sufficient velocity, that is the self-cleansing velocity should be there when we are going to carry out this particular 0.1 to 0.2% of waste, okay, in the form of solids. Then the wastewater should always, it will be always flows under gravity, right, it always flows under gravity, and we should take care that it should have the sufficient your gravity flow so that the wastewater should fall freely. Okay, and these are the nothing but this is what there are the this is the difference between the water carrying system, that is your water lines, and this is the wastewater line. The wastewater line main difference is it is going to have the solids and it has to move under gravity. Now we will see what are the factors which are going to influence the sewage flow through the sewer. First is the slope of sewer. If sufficient slope is there, then only it is going to flow under gravity. Then geometry of sewer, we have seen different type of sewer in the previous classes: circular, rectangular, horseshoe shape, etc., etc. we have seen. So geometry of a sewer is also going to carry an important weightage when we are going to discuss regarding the flow of sewage. Then roughness of interior, right, if roughness is there, then again it is going to create some problem. Then bends and obstruction, if it is there, then there will be a possibility of again leakage and all if a pressure is there. Then next is the flow conditions, whether it is flowing full, partial full, half full, right? All these things will be having. And then the characteristics of wastewater, whether it is going to have physical characteristics, chemical characteristics, or biological characteristics, right? So this is how the factors which is going to influence the sewage flow. Then coming to the hydraulic formulas that we are going to use in order to calculate the velocities are, right, we are going to use the Cheggy's formula, where V is equal to which the formula will be having V is equal to C square root RS, where the velocity will be in terms of meter per second. C is nothing but the Cheggy's constant, and it is very complex in nature, and it is going to have the various factors that it is going to be get affected, like shape of sewer, slope, and hydraulic mean radius, then size and size of the sewer and all, it is going to get affected. And then R is nothing but the hydraulic mean depth. Okay, R is nothing but hydraulic mean depth, which is nothing but it is a ratio of area of cross section to the wetted perimeter. Okay, so this is how we are going to calculate the velocity by using the Cheggy's formula. Then we will be using the Cutter's formula in order to calculate the constant C, Cheggy's coefficient. Okay, now which we are going to use a formula 23 plus 0.00155 divided by S plus 1 by N whole divided by 1 plus 23 plus 0.00155 divided by S into N to the square root R. Okay, where R is nothing but the hydraulic mean radius, S is nothing but slope, N is rugosity coefficient, which is normally going to be around 0.013 and might be again sometimes 0.012 also it will be there. So that thing will be given when you are going to solve the problem. Then the Bazin's coefficient is given by C is equal to 157.6 divided by 1.81 plus K by square root R, where K is your Bazin's constant. Then fourth is the Manning's formula in order to calculate velocity is V is equal to 1 divided by N R raised to 2 by 3 S raised to 1 by 2. See, this particular formula will be playing an important role when you are going to solve the problems along with the Cheggy's formula. These Cheggy's formula, Manning's formula, Cheggy's formula, Manning's formula, and the Cutter's formula will be important. So you need to remember these three formulas when you are going to solve the problems. Then Manning's formula, then Crimp and Brooks formula, it is going to have 83.47 R raised to 2 by 3 S raised to 1 by 2, where again R is nothing but your hydraulic mean radius, S is nothing but the slope, and V is again the next one is Huygens and Williams formula, which is where V is nothing but equal to 0.85 C by R to the power 0.63 S to the power 0.54. So these are the different formulas that you are going to use in order to calculate the velocity. In this particular module 2, it is basically here in the design we are going to solve the problem. One theoretical problem will be there, that too for say around 5 to 6 marks, and remaining some maximum marks will be allotted for the problem. Okay, 12 marks it will be allotted for the problem. So in this module 2, you should concentrate on solving the different type of problem, because you will be getting the problems itself in this particular module. Then we are going to see what is a minimum velocity, right? Minimum velocity or the self-cleansing velocity, it is nothing but the velocity at which the solid particle remains in suspension without settling at a bottom of a sewer. Suppose if this is your sewer, right, here it is going to have the solids here, right? Now suppose if we are going to have a very slow velocity for this sewage flow, then what may happen is these particles which are present in the sewer, they may get settled down at the bottom. And again, if the velocity is a slow velocity, if it is going to continue, right, again there is a huge deposition of the solids, and again there may be probably there may be blockage of the say wastewater into these particular sewer. Now if the sewer is going to have sufficient velocity under it, right, these particles, due to having the minimum velocity, so that the particle would not remain get settled down at bottom, and if it is always being in suspension, then these particles will be carried out to the till the destination or till the discharge point, and then there will be continuous movement of the wastewater will be there in these particular sewers. So it should have, the sewers should have minimum flow velocity. Then what is maximum flow velocity? We call it as an non-score velocity, the velocity at which no scoring action or abrasion should take place, that we call it as the non-scoring velocity. Suppose if the velocity of the wastewater is too much in case of sewer, and suppose the surface of the sewer is quite rough, then what may happen is, due to the increased velocity of the wastewater, what may happen is, your whatever the material that is having the rough surface, that may be carried away with the flow. Suppose this is your sewer, and suppose if it is going to have the rough surface, and if the velocity is too much, right, then what may happen is, this particular material, it may be get eroded, and the quality of the sewer is going to be get affected. There should not be no scoring action should takes place inside the sewer line. Okay, now we will see some of the effects of variation of discharge, right, on velocity. Okay, now we will be seeing it, right. Now what may happen is, if as stated earlier, right, as I have told earlier, the discharge in the sewer should not remain constant at all the time. It should continuously, it should be flowing, because if it is not flowing continuously, then there may be possibility that the particles may get settled down at the bottom. Okay, now as a flow decreases, right, the velocity of the flow, right, as the flow decreases, that is the quantity of the flow decreases, the velocity of the flow also going to get decreased. Okay, when the sewer, it is going to run half full, right, it is essential to check the velocity of a flow, whether it is going to have the self-cleansing velocity of around 0.3 to 0.4 meter per second. The self-cleansing velocity, at least it should have around 0.3 to 0.4 meter per second. At the same time, the designer should ensure that the velocity of about 0.9 meter per second is developed at the time of maximum flow, and at the maximum velocity, right, the non-scoring velocity should be around 0.9 to 0.8 to 0.9. If the maximum velocity is there, then it should not cross beyond this, or else there will be a abrasion is going to take place for the sewer. Then the sewer should be designed in such a way that it should have the self-cleansing velocity is obtained, right, it should be vary in between 0.3 to 0.4 meter per second. Next, we are going to discuss regarding the hydraulic elements of sewer. Right, now we will be hydraulic elements of sewer. When we are going to have these sewers, normally we are going to use the circular sewer instead of rectangular, egg shaped, horseshoe shaped. Right, why we are going to use these circular sewers is, right, why we are going to use these circular sewers is due to the following reasons. Right, it is the circular sewer, they are easily where they are going to manufacture. Normally we are going to in sewers, right, we are going to use the circular sewers, and we are going to concentrate in this particular unit regarding the circular sewer, how the circular sewers should be designed, right, that we are going to see. So here the circular sewer are easily manufactured, right, and it gives the maximum area of perimeter, right, it is going to give maximum area of perimeter, and hydraulic mean depth will be highest during the full or half full condition. Okay, and it is most economical section, that is also the reason why we are going to use it, and it is going to have the uniform curvature and less deposits it is going to have under it. So these are the reasons why we are going to use the so this is the reason why we are going to use the circular sewer. Now we will see these are the conditions which is going to help you to solve the problem. Now in these particular unit, they will be asking you to design the circular sewer. Okay, they will be giving you the quantities like your diameter and then slope. They may ask you to determine the velocity, they may ask you to determine the diameter, they may ask you to determine the perimeter, right? All these things they may ask you to determine the discharge. All these things they may ask you in these particular problems when we are going to see certain problems. Okay, so here we will be studying regarding, and in the different conditions you need to find out all these: the velocity, area, perimeter, right, hydraulic mean depth, under the various condition of a sewer, whether it is running full, half full, right, or partially full. Under these conditions you need to determine all these values. So what you need to have is, we need to have the different condition, what are, how the your equations are going to, or how your formulas are going to vary when it is running full, when it is running half full, when it is running partially full. So let us discuss the different formulas that we will be using. Now we will consider that, suppose the sewer is there, this is your circular sewer. If we consider that this sewer is going to be completely filled by water, right, and then what is the area that these particular sewer will be having, then perimeter what it is having, then hydraulic mean depth what it is having, that we will be seeing it. So this is nothing but your sewer which is going to have the diameter d when it is going to run full of water, right, when it is going to have full of water through it. Then as you know, the area for a circular section, you are going to calculate it by using the formula A is equal to pi by 4 into d square, right? So when the sewer is running full and when area is has been asked to you, you will be using this formula. And wetted perimeter, right, it is nothing but pi d. Okay, wetted perimeter, you will be using the formula pi d. Pi is d is nothing but the diameter. Then hydraulic mean depth, it is going to be calculated by area of cross section divided by wet perimeter. So pi by 4 into d square divided by pi d. Pi d get cancels, remains is d by 4. So hydraulic mean depth is d by 4. These are just the formula that we are going to see, right? Then the condition when the sewer is going to run half full, right? Suppose this is the sewer of having the diameter d, right? This is the diameter d of a sewer which is running half full. Suppose till half it is going to have your wastewater. At that condition, how the different formulas are going to vary. Okay, now the area of cross section, that is given by, since it is running half full, pi by 4 divided by into d square divided by 2, since it is running half full. So area of cross section will become pi by 8 into d square. Okay, pi by 8 into d square. Then wetted perimeter will become equal to, here it was pi d, since it was full, here it will become pi d by 2. And here the hydraulic mean depth is nothing but a by p, that is pi by 4 divided into d square divided by 2, because it is half full. And again perimeter pi d divided by 2. So if we simplify, again we will be getting the hydraulic mean depth as d by 4. Next is when the circular sewer running partially full, right? When it is partially full means either it might be either 1 by 3, that is here it might be having, till this it might be having water, or 2 by 3, again till this it might be having water. So both for 1 by 3 or 2 by 3, this particular thing we call it as it is running partially full, either 1 by 3 or 2 by 3. Half full condition, we are using those particular formulas. Now let us consider, let d be the depth of the water, that is the partial flow till in, this is a circular sewer, this is half, till this, right, here I have showed a watermark. Till this you are going to have the water with having the depth d, and theta, it is going to be the central angle. It is going to make an angle theta with the central angle. Then a, small a is nothing but the area of cross section, right, this area of cross section. Then p is nothing but the wetted perimeter. Then r is hydraulic mean depth, and v is nothing but the velocity of flow. So here this is the big D, that is the depth, and this is the small d, right, and this is the fill section of water, and this is the full section of water, this depth. Okay, now the central angle is given by, this is a simplified one, right. So only you need to, in order to solve the problem, you need to concentrate yourself to these particular things. Okay, so central angle is given by cos theta by 2, that is equal to 1 minus 2d divided by 2 small d divided by capital D. So depth can be given by, for partial flow of water is depth, right, small d, this is depth, small d is given by diameter d divided by 2, 1 minus cos theta by 2. Now what is this proportional depth? Proportional depth is nothing but where it is the ratio of when the sewer is going to run partially full divided by full condition. At those condition we call it as the proportional depth. The proportional depth, these formulas have been simplified to you and it has been directly given to you. So in the problems they may ask you to determine what is the proportional depth, to determine the proportional area, to determine the proportional wetted perimeter. So in those conditions you need to remember these formulas when it has been asked to you in the examination or in the problems. Okay, so here proportional depth is nothing but it is the ratio of the smaller depth, that is when the sewer is going to flow under partial full condition to the sewer running the full flow condition. So that is nothing but the proportional depth. Similarly, it is the area when area of the sewer which is running partially full to the when the sewer is running full condition. So here the proportional depth, it is simplified and directly it is given to you. It is 1 by 2, 1 minus cos theta by 2. This thing, this depth d and proportional depth you need to remember in order to solve the problem. Then the proportion, the area when area of cross section for partially full sewer, it is given by pi d square divided by 4 into theta divided by 360 minus sin theta divided by 2 pi, right. This you need to remember when it is going to be flow under partially full condition. Then the proportional area, that is the sewer running having the partial full cross sectional area and it is running the full cross sectional area. So proportional area is given by theta divided by 360 minus sin theta divided by 2 pi. Then the wetted perimeter, when it is going to run under the partially full condition, it is given by pi d into theta divided by 360. Okay, so this is for the partial full. Then again proportional, again it is the ratio of perimeter when and it is running partially full to the full condition. So it is given by theta divided by 360. Next is we will be having the hydraulic mean depth. We will be studying regarding the hydraulic mean depth. The hydraulic mean depth, it is calculated for the partially full condition is given by R is equal to A by P, it is equal to D by 4 into 1 minus 360 sin theta divided by 2 pi theta. It is going to be calculated by this for partial full condition. Then proportional hydraulic mean depth, that is the proportional hydraulic mean depth when it is going to be running partially full to the full condition, we are going to use a formula 1 minus 360 into sin theta divided by 2 pi theta. Then the velocity of a flow when it is going to run under the partial full condition is given by 1 by n, r raised to 2 by 3, s raised to 1 by 2. This already you know it. Then the proportional velocity is given by again the same condition, 1 minus 360 sin theta divided by 2 pi theta into 2 by 3. Okay, then the discharge when it is going to be running under partial full condition is given by q is equal to AV, and proportional discharge is given by q by small capital Q is equal to small a divided by capital A into small r divided by capital R divided by raised to 2 by 3. In addition to this, there are some other formulas are there that we will be using when we are going to solve the problems, and there is a slight change in these particular proportion that you need to practice all these problems, and you need to remember these things. There are some slight changes are there that you need to remember all these in these particular formulas, right? So in the next class we will be solving some of the problems on the design of sewer. See, in this particular module you need to concentrate your study on the problems itself, and hardly 5 or 6 marks the theoretical question will be there, and remaining things will be asked mainly based on problem, or it may happen that it may be asked this particular model they may ask full of problems. So you need to concentrate on the problems. In the next class we are going to solve the problems by using these particular formulas. You need to revise or you need to see these formulas in order to solve the problem. Okay, so we will meet in the next class. Thank you.